Looping Coil, a 10th level ranger who lives for fun and adventure to see more of the world. No one on the Shielded Islands is sure of his exact date of birth, so he uses the date he was found as a newborn child. Midsummer's Eve in 965, the year of many surprises. Late one evening, Lupin was found inside a bundle of blankets inside a coil of rope at the docks in Karnak. No one knew how he got there, as no one had passed through the area that day. With no one around to claim the young tabaxi as their own, Lupin was adopted by Greta Raylan. Raylan was an ex-adventurer who settled in Karnak with her husband the year before. Unfortunately, her husband had passed on only weeks earlier. Having set up a simple life as a washerwoman, Raylan took Lupin in to raise as her own. From a young age, Lupin showed incredible skill at stealth and speed, though he also grew the rather irksome habit of winding people up. From a young age, he had a penchant for pranks for which not everyone saw the funny side. From the age of 11, Lupin found that the city guard of Karnak were not the most observant of folk, and so would often sneak around them, hiding equipment and rations. This didn't go down well with the newly appointed Captain Firth, the older brother of Delmore Firth, who had taken over his father's position of Captain of the City Guard. Upon learning that Lupin was the one behind the pranks, Captain Firth arrived at Raylan's home, demanding to see him. Having lost none of her nerve from her adventuring days, the older woman wasn't intimidated by the captain and pointed out that he had no right to take Lupin. Nothing had been stolen, and it wasn't illegal for a civilian to be in the areas that Lupin had been. If he wanted the tabaxi, then he would need an arrest warrant, or maybe he shouldn't allow a child to make a mockery of his men. When Lord Stenfast, the ruler of Karnak, heard this, he was greatly amused. He denied the captain's request for an arrest warrant, telling him to take up the challenge and catch Lupin in the act. This led to an ongoing game of cat and mouse between Captain Firth and Looping Coil, that only grew in intensity as the years went by. By age 16, Lupin was no longer hiding the guard's equipment, and instead moved on to leaving paw prints on the backs of those on guard duty. This only frustrated the city guard further, though they still could not catch him in the act. In 982, the year of the young sapling, the Oaken Shields mercenary guild was opened in Karnak by a mysterious drow woman, known only as Shinura. The people of the city had mixed feelings about the guild, unsure of what it would bring. Lupin, however, saw a chance at a life of adventure. His stepmother had helped him train in the use of a bow, and helped him develop further his natural talent in several skills. And so it was at age 17 in the month of Elysius that Looping Coil joined the Oaken Shields Guild. Looping Coil is a 10th level ranger that specialises in stealth, speed and ranged combat. He wears leather armour, preferring to rely on agility to avoid attacks, and is equipped with a longbow, short sword and dagger. However, he also has an immovable rod and rope of entanglement that he has no problem in using creatively. With the mobile feat, he moves quicker than others, as well as being able to avoid opportunity attacks from those he makes a move against first. Sharpshooter allows him to shoot at much greater ranges without disadvantage, and renders all but full cover ineffective against his shots. The skilled feat grants him proficiency in 3 extra skills, expanding on those he already gains as a tabaxi ranger. As a tabaxi, he has abilities such as dark vision and feline agility, which aids his sight in dim light and boosts his speed. These abilities complement his ranger abilities, such as Natural Explorer, Fleet of Foot, and Nature's Veil. Natural Explorer grants multiple bonuses such as advantage on initiative rolls, ignoring difficult terrain, and faster movement when moving stealthily. Fleet of Foot allows him to dash as a bonus action, while Nature's Veil allows him to temporarily become invisible. These actions pair well with his Ranger Conclave of Hunter, which grants further abilities such as Colossus Slayer, extra attack and escape the horde. The first of which grants Looping the ability to deal extra damage, while the third makes it harder to strike at him with opportunity attacks. As an added bonus, he also has the archery fighting style, making his ranged attacks even more accurate than they already were. His final ranger ability is Favoured Enemy, that he has improved to Greater Favoured Enemy. When fighting humanoids or fiends, Looping gains additional damage, advantage on tracking and intelligence checks, as well as advantage on spells and abilities used by fiends. For his spells, Looping usually prefers spells of a utility or support nature, such as Entangle or Pass Without a Trace, as they provide him more options both in and out of combat. However, he does also have Hunter's Mark to further increase his damage, and Healing spell in the form of Healing Spirit. His most powerful spell for the moment is the Revival spell, which he has yet to use, and hopes he will never have to. Looping prefers to keep at a range of his opponents, using speed and stealth to stay out of reach while delivering damage from afar. He will often use his magic to slow or restrain his opponents, giving him the upper hand, and isn't afraid to try elaborate plans in the heat of the moment. His speed and manoeuvrability mean he can deliver quick strikes in hit and run tactics. Despite his fairly hyperactive personality, Looping has no problems in long skirmishes and is capable of using speed and stealth to wear down opponents over time. This makes him adaptable to most environments, but like all characters, he still has his flaws. He struggles in sustained melee combat, and isn't very knowledgeable in magic outside of his own. Despite this, when the jokes are set aside and Looping gets serious, he is a considerable foe to face. After joining the Oaken Shields, Looping has taken many jobs to explore more of the Shielded Islands and nearby lands. He has faced some challenges that have at times made him reconsider his choices, but each time he continues on with his quest for adventure. For now, Looping is content to see what adventures await for him as part of the guild, and to gain more experience before venturing off on bigger and longer adventures. Until then, he plans to help folks where he can, as part of seeing more of the lands around him, as well as having fun with the folks where he can. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, then hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. You can also find me on other platforms such as Twitch and Blue Sky. If you want to support these videos, then head over to my Ko-Fi, linked below.